would allow me to do that. I've been wanting to set things on fire here for so long, and they keep not letting me. Perhaps if I held out like a little hot dog over it as the table burned merrily in someone's backyard.
Yeah, we can make a whole evening of it. Go to that one campsite that we went to that one time. Yeah.
Love it.
And welcome back to the 7th Star to the Right podcast. This is session 32. How are you guys doing?
I am caffeining up right now, so expect a very excited Nona about 30 minutes from this point in time.
Perfect.
I'm going to ramp up.
Awesome. So one quick administrative thing. I'm talking to you now, viewers, not to these people at the table right now. A couple of us have been talking. We think we want to do another meta episode in a bit. And we do have some listeners out there. So if you guys want to send in some questions, I actually set up an email account because this is a thing that we're doing. So the email account is 7thstarpodcast@gmail.com. That is the number 7, THSTAR podcast@gmail.com. So if you guys want to, I don't know, send some questions for us to answer. I probably won't go too much into story beats in the future because obvious spoilers and all of that. But any other questions, if you have, just send it there and I'll take a look at them and compile them and also probably add some of my own too when we do that meta episode again. Anywho, with
Jeff,
all of that out of the way.
When you send in your own questions to that email, do you put on the mustache or do you just make a different account? How deep does the role playing go?
When I read them out, this one's from Jeff in
spelled with a J.
It's totally different, guys. Cooper Dargon again.
Turns on the Torque voice.
Fantastic.
So yeah, if that's something that interests people out there, that might be something that we do more in the future. But we do have that email account now. So anywho, getting back into what happened this past episode. What do you guys remember? I got my notes in front of me, so I know everything.
Do you want like a good recap or the type of recap we normally do where we just shout out things at random that happened?
Hey man, it reminds me. It helps me here at the table.
Let's do a little column A, a little column B.
All right.
Nona's on a boat.
Nona,
I think
Nona and friends are on a boat.
Not just Nona, actually. Yeah,
It's true. And Dorian Gray is on the boat with us.
Yeah, we got a friend who we may or may not be adopting. I'm not sure if we decided yet.
No, I was told in no uncertain terms we should not adopt Dorian
Yeah,
Gray.
okay.
No.
I agree with that. That's
Which
a good
is
call.
a shame because that knife is sweet.
Yeah, I remember Micah and Dorian Gray kicked the flesh beast's ass so bad that Jeff went, oops.
I can neither confirm nor deny that is what happened.
maybe a little bit more flesh on this beast.
A little bit more flesh on this flesh beast.
And add an extra deer or two, maybe a squirrel from the roadkill pile.
A little more flesh, a little less knife.
Yeah, I think it got one solid attack in on Micah and was able to do 9 damage in one swing.
This is good.
Which against Micah is not nothing, but considering the fact that I think Claire has only 12, 15 hit points, and I think Nona and Alex only have in the teens as well. That one swipe of those scythe-like claws would.
Excuse you, I have 21 hit points.
Oh, a whole
I'm in the
2 more.
20s now.
You're right about me, Jeff. You got it on the nose. He might have less hit points than Claire does.
So one of those swipes to someone who is not super combat ready or basically building to be a warrior could probably take them out in one attack, considering it also had 2 attacks. It missed its first one. But yeah, Dorian Gray, Micah, and even Nona, I think, got some shots in on it.
Yes,
were
I did.
able to deal quite a bit of damage to it, and it then teleported away.
Then just
little
teleported away.
bitch.
Just teleported away. So that's apparently a thing that this thing can do. This flesh beast, this FB.
So
I'm really glad that it didn't teleport in where we are and decided instead to be creepy about it and climb up the stairs, because that would have really screwed us over.
Well, you don't know exactly how it works or if it has exertion or something like that as well. If we could just do it at will, then maybe we'd just pop in, slice a couple
and then
things
we
and
would
pop
die.
out.
That's true.
Yeah. That wouldn't be very narratively fun, though, would it?
No, probably not.
And my flesh bestie only cares about the narrative.
FB.
So one other major thing that happened right after this thing teleported away is everyone except for Nona couldn't quite remember what it looked like or what they even were fighting just then.
That's right.
And
We've been referring to it as the not bear.
Yes, because it was
Not a bear.
like a bear, but not a bear.
It was not like a
But
bear.
that's the closest Alex can get to it, yeah.
Yeah. And the more people tried to hold on to that idea, the more it almost slipped through their fingers. So that was not a fun thing. But one other major thing happened near the end of last episode. You guys remember what?
Yeah, we had a dream. I shared a dream.
Claire and you had a dream.
Claire
that
had
you
it.
shared.
Yeah, together. And it was kind of intense, kind of flashbacky, and there was a prophecy
There was a prophecy.
from way back when, apparently.
So I'm just going to read it again now,
Yes,
just to
please.
remind people in case there was some forgetting. This is in the public knowledge folder if you want to follow along
At home.
You don't have access to the public knowledge folder at
It's
home.
not that
Sorry,
public.
friends. An island lost to time and people, once housing grim designs overseen by silence, now sits undisturbed, tranquil. Gone are the days of ghastly fabrication. Horrid sounds of death and pain no longer walk the halls. The island can finally rest, as it awaits a songbird to sing of its forgotten treasures. And this was a prophecy given to Micah in the shared dream state between Claire and Micah. Additionally, Micah, you had a little brief flashback dream.
I did.
Of something in your backstory. So that was fun.
Yeah, fun dream times.
You seemed happy. It seemed like a good flashback.
It seemed like a great time. So a lot of things have happened on Orisiame. In fact, let me actually look up how long you guys have been on here.
3 days, man. It's been such a long.
Actually,
long
I
3
think
days.
it's only been 6 or so days.
Yeah, this is the last day that the stay awake potion
The
works on
final
Alex,
day.
yeah.
You really got your money's worth out of that.
Yeah.
But we first visited or started at least going towards Orisiame in episode 16. It is currently episode 32. So this has been about half of the current lifespan of this podcast that we're doing. Words are hard. Words are hard. So I think it might be useful to also do a quick recap of what do you guys. This has almost been a year in the making on Orisiame. What do you guys? What have you learned now since you have gotten here? Well, let's go over all of the big story beats, right?
Pop quiz.
Since we got to Orisiame,
Yeah, just to try and like who are the big players? What has sort of happened while you were here? Just to try and
okay.
put everything together.
Who wants to start?
So we came here because Micah is part of a freedom fighter sect that works against kind of the repression of psychic powered people. And Micah, you wanted to go back and report on a mission that I don't think she ever told us about, the actual details of it.
Yeah, I think I mentioned when we were on Glazov 5 a little bit. But yeah, it was essentially I was trying to get some information about what we now know as like the Zethra group. They're funneling weapons to the Children of the Silence, who are to my mind, the bad guys. They're the government, essentially. And they're fighting against the Acolytes of the End, which is the sort of loose group with lots of different factions that I'm a part of.
Yeah. And one thing that you actually learned recently as I think episode 30 or something like that is what the Zethra group is taking to the Children of Silence is not necessarily weapons itself. It does eventually get weaponized in some way, but it's a precursor to making some pre-tech weapon. I think that was information that Danny gave to you back on Glazov 5.
Yep.
And you've recently learned that it is a chemical by the name of hydroditrite, which is used in human genetic engineering.
Can we just call it HDT? Is that allowed?
Yeah,
or is that already a thing?
It sounds like it could be a thing, but it's probably.
I hope it's not a bad thing.
Hydroditrite. I like the name of it. If you want to call it HDT, go for it.
That's slightly easier to remember for me, Jeff. I don't know why.
That's fair.
Don't worry, Nona's got your back.
So that is what you were trying to figure out what exactly it was.
Yes. And so, got that from Dorian Gray very recently, that there's this chemical. It's being sent to the Chancellor and Orsiame because they're this ancient genetically engineered lineage of rulers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Micah came
racist.
back to report on her findings. We found out that her sect of the Acolytes had been raided at some point and imprisoned. We went in, we broke them out, and found out that was just kind of like a play to get the rest of the cell.
So Zuri, during the first encounter, was able to escape, as Zuri is a teleporter. So effectively, in order to try and get the teleporter, the Children of Silence, or the Silence operatives, tried to get Zuri to spend their teleportation, their exertion, in order to get their friends out, so that Zuri could be captured without teleporting away again. And Micah was around as well, so they were trying to get the whole group together and capture them.
While that was happening, you also ran into some friends.
Single friend.
Yeah. We found Natalia, who was the person who was kind of seemingly masterminded the whole thing, and Alex did not have a good time when he saw her.
Yep. And Natalia Kane is the daughter of Hunter Kane, who was a part of the target of the supposed assassination attempt that has Vaughn McRaven, Micah's boss man dude, mentor's probably the best way to say
works.
it.
Yeah.
Not boss man dude. I really like boss man dude.
His official title is a wise old man.
So it is a little messy, but you guys got here Micah was trying to report some findings that you had. You learned about Vaughn and Hunter Kane. You also briefly on Glazov 5 got a prophecy, the Two Generals prophecy. This was probably alluding to these two generals fighting across different sides of the same war.
Wait, there were two actual generals?
No.
In the Two Generals prophecy?
It was...
Or is that two general?
I hate you so much right now.
You can leave.
Oh,
Get
God.
out.
So one other thing is, in order to break the rest of Micah's group out, you enlisted the help of a Urson by the name of Cyril Sharpclaws.
And then we wrecked his whole life.
Yep. Who later took Claire in order to try and leverage Claire, and knowing that Claire is wanted by the Beholder Collective, and you guys are wanted as well, to try and get you to find his chemist. You guys said, nah, screw that.
We found the chemist.
You found the chemist, fucked off
everything on
with
fire.
the chemist.
We burned his house down.
He did burn his house down.
Which eventually brought you to Jade. And there was additionally some information about Deacon visiting the Calvin estate as well.
Deacon is a person that I don't know all that much about, but that was just kind of name dropped there. And the things that we do know is that he was quite likely on my sort of starting point space station, I think it is.
Yep, Asimov 1.
Yep, sure. Asimov 1, when it mysteriously got set on fire for some reason, and then Nona woke up. So Nona is running with the assumption right now that Deacon is probably trying to kill her, especially because he had and then left behind for no discernible reason that I can tell, a pouch around his neck that contains shards of a mysterious blue crystal that I failed that one roll on, so I don't know that it's secretly clearly the same stuff that is made out of.
And I think we've said this before, but Nona can obviously have her suspicions of what it is of a true AI core, but it does seem to be different than yours in some way, and you can't quite figure out what that means. So that's what that role was about. But so guys were in Breeze, escaped Breeze with all friends.
You're dead.
You sort of convened a meeting during the Calvin estate to try and figure out the next steps. You decided your next step was to investigate this assassination attempt on Hunter Kane's life that was supposedly taken out by or performed by Vaughn McRaven. You came to Jade and you've realized that very clearly something different happened. There were 3 people there, Dorian Gray being one of them, supposedly bifurcated in the encounter. Yeah. And escaped somehow or was taken somehow by whatever this flesh beast was who attacked you this last episode. So we have a couple of players in this. We've got the Children of Silence who are headed by the Chancellors, 4 of which have been sort of trading off back and forth and using genetic engineering in order to prolong their life. We have the Acolytes of the End. We're trying to stop that, but are unaware of the origins of the Children of Silence. We have this mysterious third group, known only by the name that causes the brain to itch, because no one else other than Nona can hear the word or read it, that appear to be working for both sides. Dorian Gray said that at times these creatures would sometimes stymie the revolution while at other times help the revolution. So it appears this third party wants the Civil War to continue on. And then additionally, there has been some mentions previously, but Cass, the planet that you guys started on, the one that the Beholder Collective has its headquarters at, has some interest in the Orsimian Civil War and likely has sided with the Children of Silence as they are the leading members. So that's kind of the story on this planet up to this point. Do you guys remember anything that I'm missing?
Argus is kind of waiting on us to go decide if we're going to go help him get to a different system or not. Goro is waiting for us to come back and rate him on his sweet
ninja
martial
skills.
arts ninja skills, waiting to hear back from Dorian Gray, who he believes us to be. Because that was awesome. Zip is waiting on us, but Zip can go F themselves. Yeah, those are the big ones, I think. Oh, also, I think we technically just casually Dorian Gray mentioned that Alex was the son of a Cassian general, which I think we sort of suspected already, but way to spill the tea on that one, super spy.
Let's just say that there have been a lot of things that pointed to that, but I don't believe the characters.
But then Jeff got impatient.
The characters still have yet to discuss it, and I believe when Dorian Gray brought it up, Alex started looking around as if like, "Who's this about?"
Yeah, so that's a thing that exists. I just want to call it out because sometimes when we don't mention things that aren't immediately relevant to the running away from the flesh beast situation, Jeff gets mad and thinks we missed them. But no, we know.
We got it.
We just don't want to talk about it right now.
We don't talk about it.
We've known each other for like 2 weeks, all right?
Actually, that's something that I've figured out. You guys have been together for about 29 days.
Oh, then we're fucking best friends.
I think that puts us at the level of summer camp best friends. Not gonna lie.
Alex never had a summer camp best friend. He doesn't know what those are.
Has David?
Let's not talk about that.
I'll never tell. All right. So we left off last session with Micah and Claire. Well, Micah waking up from this shared dream first and waking Claire. Claire then admitting that this is a dream that she has quite often, and is specifically the day that her village was attacked, when her mother died and when she was taken in by, well, taken in is the wrong connotation. Kidnapped, stolen by the Children of Silence and Silence operatives. And then I think Alex just ended up being in the room when the conversation was happening, drinking a cup of coffee, as Alex is often to do. I'm actually going to rewind a little bit because there was a moment where Nona went, Dorian Gray went off to the side of the boat. She mentioned she wanted to think about things, as you guys have all reached out to her and said, hey, why aren't you the one doing this, or why aren't you at the very least offering to help us do this thing? Why is it on us? And Nona made a pretty passionate pitch, to say the least. And Dorian Gray was like, I have some things to think about, and went over to the side of the boat
and thought about
things. In fact, she took out like a piece of driftwood, which, as we know on Orisiame, is quite rare. It either needs to be imported or like scrapped from something else, because there's no native biosphere on Orisiame. And she was whittling. And before we went to Micah and Claire, Nona went to sit down next to her. So let's do that.
Nona just got kind of yelled at for inviting everybody along on adventures, which is correct. She has been doing that, and maybe she should stop. But right now she's kind of like wondering and thinking about like sort of what's the difference between our group and random people, because there's clearly some sort of difference there, but she doesn't really get it yet.
Okay. So Nona, you, as Dorian Gray kind of has her legs off the side of the boat, just whittling, David just did a pushing motion. Nona goes up to sit beside her. Are you going to say anything? Are you going to?
No, I'm just gonna exist. I think I'm not like super in your space either. Like sitting close enough that she knows that I am there, but like not like nose 5 inches from your face kind of thing, as I imagine Nona is sometimes wont to do.
Mm-hmm. So as it takes a while before Dorian Gray says anything, and what she's doing is it's not actually just mindless whittling that you see her doing. It's not just taking a piece of wood and just slowly carving off different parts of it to just make a point. She looks like she's actually crafting something out of this block of wood that she has, and it takes a while, but you start to see the shape of a wolf or a dog or some kind that is sitting.
She's not
sitting
a very
on
good
its hind
whittler.
legs with its arms outstretched in front of it, just standing at attention almost. And she hasn't quite gotten into the details yet, but it's clear to see that
roughly the shape of that thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
And she sees you sitting next to her and says, "So, what got you into this group here?"
You know, I'm not 100% sure. Mostly, I was hired to drive a ship somewhere. And then while we were driving the ship somewhere, we discovered that we were secretly human trafficking, which we decided was a bad thing. So we stopped doing that. And then a bunch of stuff just kind of happened.
What kind of stuff, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, let's see. We went and we fought some people. I'm going to like recount in very sort of vague, not quite understanding what has been going on terms, but like we went to this planet and then we fought some guys over some supplies once.
Yeah.
I hit one of them with a hover cycle, and then I got some hover cycles, which was really cool. We painted flames on the side of them, and then we went to like the spaceship, and recounting just like in very sort of vague terms, because I've noticed people don't like it when I'm dropping details, but like from Noda's perspective, we fought a bunch of robots, we found a dog.
Dear Santa.
Pretty much. And just kind of and now I'm here, and I'm not really 100% sure why we're here, but
That's fair. She continues to whittle. When I was looking into you guys, I was, and she takes the knife from what she was whittling and points at you, not in like a threatening way, but kind of like at a point, Like,
But it
just
could
like,
be.
For
because
emphasis.
yeah.
Sure.
But you're an interesting one. I was looking up just absolutely everything I could possibly get, but you just appeared about a couple of months ago and started taking up different trucking jobs, galaxy trucking jobs.
Yeah, I'm good at driving.
Yeah. Where were you before that?
Do people not normally just do that?
Well, normally they don't come out of nowhere and just start doing that.
I was on a space station for a really long time. I gather it was kind of boring.
Well, I've been here practically my whole life, or at least as long as I can remember. And, I'm kind of like you. Don't really know where I'm going or what I'm doing. Just enjoy doing what I am doing and like to keep doing it. And it doesn't seem like going up against the big honchos. The Children of the Silence is a great way to keep on doing that. As she goes back to whittling this wolf that she has in front of her.
I don't really know why we do most of the things that we do, to be honest, but this seems like a pretty big one. Seems like kind of something that, like, if you ignore it, it doesn't go away.
Yeah. Well, very clearly they've been here since around the Scream, and since no one's done anything, we're still here. So I guess that is true, as she continues to carve into the details into this wolf.
I'm just going to continue to sit there, I think. I don't really have
anything that you want to get from her specifically or talk to her about.
I think, actually I'm gonna say, so this Deacon person, I think he might have been trying to kill me.
What makes you say that?
Well, I was on my space station for a long period of time, and then one of the nights I woke up and it was on fire. And I never really knew what caused that, but I found out recently that apparently Deacon had been there on the space station right around the time that fire started. And space and fires are not normally, it's kind of hard to make something accidentally catch on fire in space. Because of the lack of oxygen, you see.
Yeah.
And so I think he might have tried to set me on fire. And I'm a little bit afraid of that.
I think most people don't want to be set on fire.
Yes, this I have learned through several observations.
Well, I didn't look him up when I was trying to figure out what you guys were about, but I'll look him up and send along word to Jordan, who you guys I think are gonna plan on meeting in the morning. Anyway, I gotta go. She's starting to look down at a watch that she's had as she pulls back a sleeve to reveal said watch. I think you guys should meet with Jordan Donahue. I'll think about your offer. I might join up with, but definitely talk to him. He'll have some good information, and he'll be able to look up information about Deacon.
Question, Jeff.
Yeah, what's up?
Do we know where we're going to meet up with Jordan Donahue? This is not a thing that I wrote down.
Yeah, she would have given you his home address.
The Donahue Cave.
Fantastic. Oh, it's filled with the spooky monsters. Cool. And that then with the I need to go, I'm gonna drive the.
Actually, no, you don't need to. If you move to get up, she just points in the distance, and you see a jet ski that is unmanned.
Fantastic.
Just come in, and it's quiet. And unless you try and stop her, Micah and Claire are sleeping. I don't know if Alex would be hanging around here. She's just going to get on that jet ski and she's going to go.
Nona is adding that jet ski to her shopping list. Jet skis are cool. Yeah. Yeah, I guess after that, then depending on what time it is, I'll duck down and go meet up with people to go tell them that Dorian Gray left.
Yeah, it's probably still I would call it probably early or really early morning, like 4 or something like that. So Micah and Claire are probably still sleeping. Alex would certainly still be up, as he's this is the last night of Wide Awake serum that you have going, correct?
I actually get this. I get one more night after this one, but then it's done.
So we can move forward to then where we were at the end of last episode with Micah and Claire waking up, and we can talk about this prophecy. I can't remember exactly where we ended off, but I think Claire sort of gave the whole spiel as to where that dream was kind of from. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit. It's kind of wild, whatever it was that just happened there, the sharing the dream and everything. So did Nona come into the same room with us? Do you think you're around as we're kind of waking up and dealing with that stuff?
Sure. It really depends on the various timings, so I think that is more a GM question than me. When Dorian Gray leaves, I will come below deck to tell you that Dorian Gray left.
I imagine that the below deck is kind of like a studio apartment. Yeah, is that right? That's the way it's kind of set up. Yeah. So I don't know how Nona spends her night, but
just kind of walk in and.
Right. You're there.
Haha, I'm here now.
I've decided it.
Perfect. Everyone's love here. It.
So if everyone's there, I'm gonna be like, okay. So we had a prophecy, and I'm gonna like try and recount it from memory, but I think that actually no, even though she has this dream all the time, she wouldn't remember what the prophecy is. Yeah. So I'm gonna like quick before the dream fades, try and like just spit back out the words I can remember.
That sounded perfect. It sounded word for word. No stuttering at all.
Okay. That sounds like an island that has important information on it regarding what the silence is up to.
Yeah, some like secret island, like it must be on Orisiame, the silence thing. Sounds like a place that might have information, but I don't know. Maybe something we could toss at Jordan, see if he has any thoughts. Apparently he knows things.
You're from Orisiame. There's no Atlantis analog for this place,
Jeff.
It's just kind of like lost.
No, there's I mean, there are definitely islands on Orisiame. Obviously, I've talked about the continents: Ostia, Strania, Corstia, and Gilfern.
Obviously.
Remembered all of those from the top of my head. Didn't even need to look at my notes.
Lobster, crawfish, other ones. Gilead City.
But there are islands that are around. Most of them are uninhabited, just because since there's no native biosphere, you kind of want to be closer to other things, such that you can like get food and important supplies and stuff like that. So an island in particular, this wouldn't ring a bell like, oh, it's this thing over here.
Good. Well, is there anything else you can remember about the dream, Claire? I don't. Obviously, if you don't, you probably don't want to think about it. Honestly, that makes sense.
Wait,
but
Micah, I was in a TV. I was looking at you and a guy on a desk. Is that not relevant?
Oh yeah. I was in your little dream space. So like, yeah, sure. If that was something that happened, the TV wasn't there at the time. But yeah, don't need to dwell on that one. But yeah.
Okay. But yeah. Nothing else. That was just a dream that I have.
So your prophecies, when I think you mentioned that when they come out, they're supposed to be for the people around you. Is that something you believe was told to you or something?
I gave you, to some extent, yeah. I gave my first prophecy that day at that point, but it didn't sound anything like the one I gave Micah right now. That sounded different. The one that I gave was about an oracle being found.
Mm.
They didn't tell me much about it.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Because somebody else has heard the prophecy and has, if these are things we want to follow up on, it's kind of a head start of a while. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah. So when they took you and heard it the first time, that one wasn't about the island, then I guess that was for us and
For you specifically, I would guess.
me. Yeah. But that means that maybe they don't already know about that, which, I mean, I guess it seems important. The silence used to work there, but now they don't. Yeah. Anyway,
Cool.
let's see if Jordy has anything to say.
Does anyone want breakfast with a side of prophecy?
Also, Dorian Gray left
Oh,
How?
what?
on a jet ski. A jet ski piloted by itself.
God damn it, she's cool.
And I would like one.
It's like Knight Rider, the ancient legend of David Hasselhoff and the talking car. Alex loves David Hasselhoff.
She's not going to join us, but she also recommends that we speak with Jordan Donahue, which is not surprising, as that seems to be her recommendation constantly.
Yeah, she said that last night.
Yeah.
She's really into him.
Well, he is a playboy after all. Speaking of which, what is a playboy?
Alex.
Yeah, what is
Oh,
a Playboy?
no.
We're all looking at Alex expectantly now.
No. I made pancakes.
So you guys make pancakes, as is the standard waking up breakfast that you guys seem to move towards. What are the immediate plans right now? Are you going to discuss things any further, or are you just going to go straight to Jordan Donahue? I was going to say Dorian Gray, but you don't know where she went.
She went that way.
In a direction.
In a direction. On a really cool jet ski.
I mean, I guess we head towards Jordan Donahue,
Yeah.
and if somebody wants to talk about something on the way,
It's not like we can talk about what happened yesterday because we don't remember.
we just did it.
Yeah.
No, the before that.
Oh, the not bear.
Yeah.
I didn't like the Not Bear. I don't remember very much about it, but I don't like it.
That is a good instinct.
Okay, I'll hold on to that.
Hold on to that.
So the address that you guys were given is one that goes to a spire that is, while it is one away, not one that you guys have been to yet.
Fantastic.
So are you guys going directly to that spire, or are you going to another spire and then walking over to that
I
one?
think we take, it would be my instinct to take the boat whenever possible, especially if there's like just free dock space everywhere.
Yeah.
I would say take the boat to keep it close in case we need to.
If we can
escape.
find parking, we'll drive.
Nona can parallel park boats.
It's really impressive.
That
Not easy.
it's not easy. So as you make your way towards this specific spire, you notice the spires that you guys have been going to and spending a lot of your time on have been more of the industrial lower end ones. The one that you're going to right now has, because you can see like major casinos, like ones that have absolutely huge billboards. Like these are tourist traps, these are tourist attractions. This particular spire, a lot of the other ones don't necessarily have this, but this one has imported just tons and tons of sand to make out these beaches out in front of these casinos. So there's a bit of a strip along, and you go towards the back end of this spire, and as you look around, it is just ostentatious. Like it is just, this is one of the more populated, more high-end ones. And as you look up the spire itself, as it raises into the sky, you also see just a bunch of different like villas that are tucked away into the spire that have like these elevators that go up to the top of the spire. It reaches up probably couple hundreds of feet. So it is quite elevated near the center. And as you guys disembark, I'm not going to worry about where exactly you guys disembark to.
Goofy 5.
Or how much credits that might cost. You're able to disembark without a problem. You make your way to this address, and you realize that it is near the center of the spire. And a lot of the time that you've also spent so far has been near the outskirts. So as you trek closer and closer to the center of this thing, you realize just the elevation gets taller and taller until streets are no longer can no longer just be straight up. They have to do that thing in San Francisco where it does the
wind
back
way
and
up.
forth.
Yeah.
Sidewalks turn into just stairs.
Micah, carry me. Micah, I can't leave me.
All right, jump on my shoulders.
Oh, okay.
And
Oh my goodness.
you find
Well,
your
it is uncomfortable seating.
Hey,
and you find yourself getting to this address that was given to you by Dorian Gray, and you just see a fairly large gate in front of you and the fencing all around. Next to the gate is a little outpost where you see a couple of men just hanging out and talking. And on this gate, you see a big emblem that has 2 letters on it, J and D. I wonder who those initials could be for.
Dorian Day.
Oh no, Dorian Day.
Wait, so before we
Yep.
get too close, do we don't have anything? We gave the beacon back. We don't have anything to show that we met with Dorian Gray. And also, we're asking him a couple things. Micah, you're free to like he like taps her head and like Micah, you're free to. Yeah, you know what you want to ask.
I know what I want to ask. What's a Playboy?
Ask it directly to him. He would know.
so, I mean, Dorian Gray was just telling us like this is the guy to talk to follow up on her whole like exposition thing about the Chancellor family and all that crap. And then there was this thing about the prophecy. I mean, did we have anything else?
She did also say that she would send ahead if she had time. I don't know, given that we only made pancakes and then came right here. But she said she would reach out, and if she found out anything about Deacon, would tell him as well. So I would hope at the very least he would know we were coming.
Probably. But the jet
that'd be
ski was
nice.
fast.
The jet ski was very fast. It was very cool.
That's good. That's good.
One other thing that I haven't heard you guys mention is I believe she also said something along the lines of he has information about these flesh beasts and perhaps a way to inoculate yourself against
I did not remember that.
this issue
Sweet.
that you're running into where you can't remember or perceive it.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Let me down. You have a lot of tension in your shoulders,
What?
and this cannot be good for you.
You don't like it up there? Fine.
No.
Maybe don't. Whatever.
I feel very
I'm
tall.
pretty sure
I don't
Alex
like
is taller than Micah.
it. Not stronger, though.
Okay.
So you
So-
guys have this this gate in front of you. There's an intercom next to the gate. Additionally, there is this little security booth that have a couple of security officers in it. They don't seem to have noticed you're here just yet. They haven't really started saying, "Hey, what are you doing here? Get off my lawn."
Let me guess. Somebody stole your sweet roll.
So what do you guys want to do?
And so it sounded like she was going to let him know that we're coming.
Yeah.
That's
We have an appointment.
There's
Yeah.
an intercom if you want to buzz the house. Additionally, you could talk to the security guards as well.
I feel like you have to talk to the security
Yeah.
guards before you buzz the intercom. Otherwise stuff would get real weird real
Yeah.
fast.
Alex
who
does like a little wave.
should we
And
say is here. I'm technically sort of, wanted. I should probably.
We're expected.
I mean,
I don't know how much more you have to say for these kinds of people.
And so Alex does a little wave of the hand to get the attention of the security guard that's facing you guys. He taps the guy who's across from him, who turns around and slides open a window and sticks his head out and says, "How can I help you guys?"
Hi, yes. We have a meeting with Mr. Donahue. He should be expecting us.
Can I get the names?
Hi, I'm Nona.
Alex.
Micah.
Claire? Like, oh yeah. Well, he was expecting you guys.
I got a real.
Argos?
No.
Argos is back at the Calvin Estate.
We miss him terribly.
And he says, "Oh yeah, he was expecting you guys. You can head right on through the gates, get on the elevator, and we'll buzz you. We'll take you up."
Cool.
We do
Thanks.
that.
Thanks.
So these ornate gates slowly swing open, and as you move past them, something that I didn't describe before, but what you see in front of you is not just like a long road or a driveway up to a house. What you actually see is a platform that has these railings on either side of it. It has a console near the wall, because at this point the spire itself is almost a sheer cliff. And so you step out onto this elevator, and it lurches, and you guys start going up the spire as you go up higher and higher, and you can start to make out the outline of this villa that has been built into the side of the spire, hundreds of feet up.
Important question. Can we see our boat from here?
Yes.
Fantastic.
In fact, the view is absolutely gorgeous. The lights and just the other spires that you can see out in the distance, and the webbing that of all of the different bridges that are connecting it is very picturesque. It's very clear why someone would go to great lengths of dealing with having to take an elevator to go home to have this particular view. And eventually you reach the apex of this elevator, and it opens up into just a fairly nice balcony area that has a front door. And as you guys approach the front door, which I assume you're doing as you're trying to enter this villa, it opens up and you see a man. And I shall describe this man to you.
It's a Playboy.
Look at him in his Playboy soap.
Dressed from head to toe in his Playboy suit.
Does that have bunnies on it?
Smoking a play pipe.
Oh, no. We're getting off track here. So you guys see a tall, clean-shaven, handsome man that you struggle to place a specific age on. He has short, styled silver hair and wears a white sports coat over a gray undershirt. And he just absolutely exudes confidence. Like he's just kind of this very charismatic character. And on either arm, you see two women who very clearly had previously spent the night. And he's saying his goodbyes to them and just sort of shooing them off, and like, "Oh, but we didn't even get to spend that much time with you." And just he shoos them off and says, "Welcome. I heard a lot about you guys. Come in."
He didn't even make them pancakes?
Convenient timing.
Nah, he just kicked them out.
Wow. Rude.
It's okay. He has NDAs for them.
Oh no.
Oh, yikes.
And so you guys walk in, and the front of this house is basically all made of glass, so that you can always see out into overlooking the sea and these tall buildings and stuff. And as he takes you in, it appears that there's been a party here the night before. Some things are like a little messy. There's some empty cans and glasses out and about. No one else is in the this villa with you guys except for him. And he says, "I heard a lot about you guys. Would you mind following me into the study and I can get you up to speed about some of these things?"
Sure, man.
Yeah, of course.
We do that.
Yeah. So he takes you in, and into the study he has a fairly large desk, fairly nice computer. Everything within this house is very clearly expensive, but not show-offy expensive. Like, this is some good stuff. So this guy has like a discerning eye. The back of the study is just filled to the brim with books. In fact, can I have you all make a wisdom notice check, please?
Fucking wisdom notice.
36 and drop the low
6.
7.
10.
Okay, so Alex, you notice that the wall directly behind the desk itself has a bunch of books that don't seem to be any particular thing. It's not like, oh, these are a bunch of robotics books or something like that. They're all leather bound and they're all numbered. It's like 1 to probably 50 or so books that are 1 to 50. And you actually see 51 laying open on his desk with a pen next to it. And it doesn't appear to be like these are things in print. This appears to be just a bunch of journals that you see stacked along the back end of higher up on one of these top shelves.
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, you see underneath those 2 shelves of filled to the brim with like almost these journals, you see a bunch of ornately carved wooden figurines almost. And it's a bunch of different animals, some that you recognize, some that you've never seen before. You see like a stag deer. You see additionally like snakes and a wolf and some other animals as well. And all different sizes, but definitely very clearly hand carved, just placed up on top. And he takes you guys in. He shows you guys to a couple of seats that are in front of his desk. And he starts working on his computer and says, all right, so what do we want to do first? He starts typing away at his computer. Nona. Which one is Nona?
Hi, I'm Nona.
Hey, I got information from Dorian Gray that had she wanted me to look up a deacon. Is that right?
Yes, please.
So I was going over some of these travel records, and we do have, it looks like, a deacon that came to Orisiame let's say 4 months ago. I looked into him a little bit. He's a robotics scientist from the Aeon, the planet Aeon. Have you heard of it? It's in the Aglani system.
I'm gonna need spelling on this later. We'll do that offline.
Yeah. Aeon is like Eon, but with an A in front of it. Aglani is Aglanei. All of you guys never heard of this planet before. Also never heard of this system before. Yeah, not much is known about this guy. He had an interest in some true AI technology, it looks like, from some of his research papers, but nothing ever really came of it. Worked for a place called Silverlight Systems, probably for about 15, 20 odd years until he left in pursuit of finding more information about pre-tech regarding true AI. So sorry to hear that he tried to kill you on that space station.
Yeah.
What else can I help you guys with? Let's see. There was also there was some information around we wanted to look up where those documents were, right? He starts typing away.
Man, this guy goes a mile a minute.
I love this. Can we always just go into a room with an NPC and stand there while they hand us the answers to all?
Are you guys gonna like say anything, ask him any questions, or he's just gonna like?
He seems like he's just going, and he is telling us things we want to know.
It is very clear. There's something about like diving through all of this information and like digging into it that he's enjoying quite a bit.
That and the cocaine
really wakes you up in the morning.
I would before he starts on moving on for that, I'm going to say, do you know if Deacon has any connection with Dr. Samantha Calvin or any interest in her research?
Well, I can see here he traveled specifically to her estate. That other than that, there doesn't seem to be any information regarding why he would know about her or probably found her during his studies at Silverlight Systems. But I'll be honest, there's not a ton about him from before his time there.
Does he have a ship?
Yeah, he has a ship. And he starts typing up some things.
I'm sorry. We can discuss more details later if you would like.
I'm not familiar with robotics as a business. Silverlight is big. They do anything important?
Oh, just
ships.
Aeon itself is one of the forerunners of robotics studies. The planet itself is crawling with all kinds of expert systems and virtual AI, so that they're really the leading researchers in that sphere right now. Silverlight Systems is a big player in that, but they mainly work with expert systems, nothing true AI or anything like that. That the information for how to make those things have been lost to time, so to speak. But it seems this Deacon fellow is really trying to find out any more information that he could possibly get from it. Oh, no. It is the red dwarf.
Color red is our color. You can't have it.
Sounds like a good employee.
So, yeah. Cool.
Micah, I think you have.
So, yeah, you mentioned documents.
Yes. So, I understand from talking with Dorian Gray that there may be some documents that are laying around regarding the workings of the Children of Silence. Now, I want you guys to understand that the reason why I have information regarding ships coming and going and some other things like that is when you make nice with the Children of Silence, they tend to look the other way when you might not be doing things completely above board. But I can just say that in the past 20 odd years, it has been concerning, some of the things that have been happening here. And despite the fact that I work with them, I wouldn't mind it if there was a change in the regime that is currently ruling Orsiame. So I started looking into this along with Dorian Gray, and there appear to be a couple of sites, mostly in Ostia, that would likely be black sites that would probably have some of this information that we could look into.
That's how you two got acquainted then. I was going to ask you and Dorian Gray, the mutual interest in that kind of stuff.
We have worked together for quite a while. My mother, who started this company, actually got into working with the current Dorian Gray at that time, and we just kept the relationship going. It works. It's useful to have friends in high and low places. He goes back to typing on his computer.
Did Dorian Gray make those? And Nona's going to point at all the carved things.
And he looks back and says, no, she didn't. I bought those. And he goes back to typing away.
Hey, so about those black sites for a second.
Yeah.
So we heard a little something about an island that used to be like run by the Silence, but then they left. Is there anything in particular that you might know that might line up with one of those? If that might be in Ostia or something like that.
And when you bring this up, his eyes narrow a little bit and say, an island? No, none of the sites that I was currently looking at appear to have been an island. You said, did something happen to the island, or is it currently under use? Or
don't know all the details. Sounds like it's not in use.
Okay, and he starts typing away, and as he does that, he pulls out a couple of a cigarette carton and says, "Do you guys mind if I smoke?"
Alex
fine.
kind of looks at Claire.
Why? Why are you looking?
Is your family?
I don't mind.
I literally could not care less, so I'm taking with you.
Okay. No, I don't mind.
I do not believe we mind, but I will advise that is not great for your health.
The Cottons also say that.
Yeah,
Sweet camel voice.
and
Sorry.
as soon as he doesn't hear any like immediate like, I don't really feel like that. He just he pops one out and lights one as he starts smoking.
Did you know that cigarettes used to cause cancer? They don't anymore because it's the future. It's just hot flavored air.
And
you had to have known this was coming, Jeff.
One moment. I lost a thing. Where was it?
What are those? Space camels?
There it is.
Cassian spirits.
Oh, yeah. I did see something. I do see something here. It looks like there was a research lab on an island off the coast of Ostia. It was investigating applications for nuclear material. No, but it appeared to have an accident about 50 years ago or so that irradiated the entire island, leaving it uninhabitable. Goes by the name of Westfell Isle. Is this useful information? It appears to be completely irradiated.
Well, that might have been the one that we heard about. Yeah, appreciate it. Damn, you really do know.
Where did you hear this all about?
Oh,
while we were in the prison, which I'm assuming you've heard of, we were at one point running away from agents of the Silence. And as we were going through there, they were talking about, old bases, places that they used to be stationed. Talked about this old island base that was abandoned for some reason. We're trying to kind of collate some kind of location.
Well, maybe there's something there. If you guys know something about it, it would appear that you would likely need some kind of vac suit in order to get there without being completely irradiated, though.
Yeah, that would be for the best. Maybe we'll try to find some place around here.
I could probably get you guys some vac suits.
Don't trouble yourself. Thanks, though.
You sure? You guys...
We don't even know.
No, Jeff, we're not going there.
We don't even know if that's the right place.
Make us.
I'll kind of whisper to them, like, I got it. Don't worry about it. Because I can protect everybody.
So one last thing. I heard you guys had an encounter last night with something that might be hard to understand.
And Nona's going to interrupt and say, we're calling it the Not Bear.
We saw a not bear.
If you say the words, it's uncomfortable for them. But yes, if you could resolve that for us, that would be phenomenal.
We did not see a bear.
It's definitely probably not a bear.
Yeah, pretty sure it was not a polar bear.
Nona looks slightly exasperated at this. She's really sick of being stuck in these situations where, like, she kind of knows what's going on. She can't say the word. She can't describe the not bear. It's frustrating.
It may have been a strong gust of wind.
So, I assume Dorian gave you some information as to some of the things that may be happening around here, and I feel it is my duty to try and help, at the very least, clear up some ambiguities around these not bears. When Dorian Gray first ran into one of these, she asked me to look into what it may or may not be. And most of the information that is immediately available makes it seem that it points towards different kinds of propaganda regarding Zionist propaganda. Talks about psychics making deals with shadows or shadow demons in order to gain their powers, which is very clearly not what happens. Some additional digging I found in some old archives is there was a name by the person by the name of Dr. Hans Gerson. Real
what a strange person. What an odd kind of name.
Yeah, what a strange odd name. Yeah, it's he was saying very similar things where he claimed that amongst us lived these shadow beings, these shades, as he called them, and claimed that he had created a procedure that would inoculate people, called clipping. It there's not a ton of information around it, but he met an unfortunate end when he was put to death for a murder spree. That included a lot of people that he performed these clipping procedures on. So
to get this totally straight, was it he performed the clipping and then went on the murder spree, or the clipping procedure killed them?
It seems from these documents that he performed the clipping procedure on these patients. They saw these same beings that he claimed to see as well. And at a later date, according to the police reports, he killed these individuals later and was sentenced to death.
I see.
At a later date. So it is not the procedure itself that killed them.
No.
It is that he operated on them, and then an amount of time later
killed them. Or they died, and it was said
they
that
died.
Yeah. Even during these times, it appears that there was some anti-psychic feelings. He himself was a psychic, and it's possible that the police department didn't see everything. But there are some gaps here. It doesn't quite, the timelines don't quite make sense. He couldn't possibly have killed all of these people while also doing some of the things that he claimed to have been doing. So things don't add up, but it appears that all wrapped up, and he was put to death despite all of that. There's not a ton of information about the clipping procedure. It appears that it's a neutered form of torching, one that almost a secondhand torching, where a bioscion pushes an individual above their system strain in order to imbue them with so much metadimensional energy that it acts as torching, but without actually any of the side effects. Not entirely sure what else was involved, though, if there was any other drugs or anything. He was a doctor of some description. Oh, he was a bioscion. How about that? Anywho. And he sits back in his chair and takes a long drag from the cigarette.
Oh no, we're getting secondhand.
Strawberry.
Gross.
So, yeah.
Where do we go to find out more information on this clipping?
Well, I could try and look up a little bit more. It appears that he did work at the hospital nearby, but this was back hundreds of years. I'm not even sure they would have these files anymore.
I was really hoping for some sort of shot or pill or...
And as you guys are sitting here thinking about all of the information that was just given to you, his phone rings. His compad rings on the table, and he says,
"What's his ringtone?" Toxic.
Oh my God. Yes.
Oh, shit. I got to take this.
Oh, baby.
And he's like, if you guys just can give me like one moment, and he goes off into the other room, leaving you in the study to discuss things.
Nona would like to read journal entry 51 or journal 51, the open one.
Okay.
I'm snooping. I'm snooping real hard.
So, what are you just going to quickly flip through it? What are you trying to discern?
Kind of. So first of all, I want to look at it if there's like sort of entries.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. I want to read the most recent entry and then kind of move backwards from there.
Yeah. So it appears to be a journal.
Yep.
You see a date, and the most recent date was written on there. And it talks, it seems to be a diary of some kind. A quick look shows, okay, he went and talked with such and such investors and such time, but then also described, after that first blurb, which seemed like this is Dorian Gray's day. Sorry, Jordan Donahue's
There's a little heart
day.
next to Dorian Gray.
After, like, this appears to be Jordan Donahue's day, where he was meeting with people and later throwing a party and stuff like that. There's a second entry that corresponds with attacked by, met with such and such, that appears to match up with the same night that you guys had with Dorian Gray the night before. And you flip back, and some days only have a Dorian Gray entry. Some days only have a Jordan Donahue entry, but sometimes they switch between it. But it seems like there's some information that is being mixed in these particular diaries.
I will share this information with friends.
Does that one say, will I ever be happy? It doesn't. I made that up. He's doing all right.
He seems like he's enjoying himself.
Yeah, he's having a good time. Okay.
So, I mean, those are definitely a couple of leads on things. I mean,
yeah.
I want to go to Radioactive Island. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, like, I'm going to abstain from the vote.
How trustworthy do we believe Jordan Donahue to be? I do believe he is working for the people that have aligned themselves against your team, no?
Yeah. So I don't trust him enough that, like, I think we were on the same page, Alex, talking about where we got the information about the island and that kind of thing. I'd also kind of prefer for him not to know that we're going to follow up on that. It seems like he's working with Dorian Gray, and I believe that. And I believe what he's telling us is probably true, but he's like too helpful.
Claire, do you ever read?
I didn't read his thoughts, if that's what you're asking. But I can, if you want, when he comes back.
Might be useful.
He is well off, so he might have some way of knowing. There's technology to know if someone's listening in, and especially high-ranking members of corporations tend to have this in these devices.
I vaguely recall you got a read on Cyril.
Yeah.
Before.
I
Was
did.
that reading specifically his thoughts?
Yeah.
Alex is going to take this time to walk along the bookshelves that are just kind of out in the open, going around the journal.
Yep.
Just walking around there.
Okay. Are you looking for anything in particular?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, it's a very well kept study. All of the books themselves seem to be in a very neatly in order. One of the earlier books is slightly pulled out. Maybe it was recently looked at and never pushed all the way back.
Alex pushes that shit back in.
All right.
Alex hates that kind of...
Was that one of the journals?
Yep.
Oh, no one is reading that.
Okay.
No, Alex straightens it. He doesn't take it out. It's out of the
totally.
it's out from the bookcase.
You push it back in there, and you've drawn attention to a different book.
Yeah.
So Nona gets up.
Other than that, I was
this.
gonna read one, but if there's a reason to read another, I'll read a different one.
Yeah, it's one of the earlier ones, so it's not 51. This one is probably in the single digits. This is like 5
from the early days.
And so you flip it open and you start looking through, and the dates that this corresponds with appear to be a couple of, probably like a decade or so after the known incident of the scream.
Got it.
So this is a time period that is, everything is kind of gone to shit because society relied so much on psychics, and all of a sudden there were absolutely no psychics around. So a lot of these entries are talking about appears to be some clandestine activity. It's very clear that if there is any ruling body, this would, some of the things that are being described here would not be kosher. Things like smuggling in different types of pre-tech that don't rely on psychic abilities, assassinating different people, moving money around, procuring foods and supplies and stuff like that. And it's written in such a way that this could theoretically, considering that Dorian Gray has been around since about the Scream and seen the most recent books, seems like a lot of the information could have been regarding like Dorian Gray's activities, but you only see information regarding that. And as you're flipping through, can you make I don't even know what to do here. Doing an intelligence notice check.
Nice.
Because you're trying to you're not taking your time to like read an entry. Are you looking for anything in particular, or
I'm trying to get a sense of like the timelines, trying to get a sense of specifically if this was a book that was like pulled out. I'm randomly looking for the thing. Why was it pulled out?
While Nona is going through the journal, Alex is going to pick out a random non-journal book so that she has deniability that we were just going through random books.
Yeah, so you pick out, I don't know, trees and how to grow them.
You said intelligence notice?
Treason.
Yeah.
That
Intelligence
is
notice.
an 8.
To serve man.
An 8.
An 8.
So as you're flipping through, it almost feels like one of these have been creased a little bit. Like you just kind of open the book up and it just naturally opens to this page because this is what was maybe more recently looked at. And as you're scanning through some of these entries, a name catches your eye. You actually see Hans Gerson.
Hey, that's that one guy.
It talks about this clipping procedure, basically describing what Jordan Donahue just said to you. It talks about him having to find certain subjects, these subjects all being voluntary. He performed this procedure maybe with the help of like this ancient Dorian Gray, maybe gathering supplies for some things or another. And it eventually does seem to lead to, then there was a bunch of casualties, and that's kind of where things left off.
And no mention of the most recent entry we read said like had an encounter with the Not Bear, right? Or something like that.
Yes.
The 51. So there's no mention of had an encounter with
as
flesh
you
beasts.
Flesh bestie.
Yeah, flesh besties.
As you continue to page through, you do see the word mentioned specifically, not shade or anything like this. It is written out clear as day in front of you.
Right.
And you also, it almost seems like someone's talking to themselves a little bit. So like it's not just a rote, this is what happened this day. It's like after you see all of the casualties regarding and that Dr. Hans Gerson was arrested, there's question marks like the word question mark sighting scene and it's the picture that you're kind of getting is maybe that Dr. Gerson was framed by one of these beasts to some extent, or at least according to whoever was writing this journal.
That was going to be my next question about how close together the deaths were, and if any of them, like, I'm looking for evidence of there being multiple of these things as opposed to just the one we've seen. Like, obviously, if it was trying to frame him, then maybe not. But if there was like 2 deaths that happened really, really close together, or anything like that.
And that's one of the things that goes into detail a little bit about, and you've hooked on to something. You found something you want to look at, and you're taking a little bit more time to read the specifics. And whoever's writing these journals definitely seems like they're trying to figure out what happened. And it does note that several of the attacks do appear to have happened too close together. So much so that one could argue 2 or 3 happened in the very same window. So it does appear that one person could not have possibly committed these acts. But if you were
a teleporting flesh beast, perhaps, though?
maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Just hypothetically.
Hypothetically, you know. Maybe if it's a teleporting flesh piece, they go one place, they cut another person, then they go.
Bada bing, bada boom, you're dead.
And bada bing, bada boom, you got 10 bodies.
I'm teleporting here.
Uh,
That's enough of that.
And as you're continuing, are you sharing this information, or are you just gathering it as much as you can and then going to be talking about it another time?
I mean, I will share it as things are going, but obviously I don't want to be caught snooping.
Mhm.
So like I feel like after this book I've kind of like pressed my luck and I'm gonna put it back and go.
Yeah, if Nona is like, hey guys, Alex is gonna like hold up like a hand and just kind of like
Yeah,
I will whisper share this information to the group.
I'm gonna take Claire over to kind of like look out the window past the spire, but also see if I can like get the reflection of the door that he just like left out of, so I can kind of see when he's coming back in.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, you can do that. In fact, you can kind of actually see, because the villa itself kind of wraps around. So you can see him just out in front where the living area and the foyer is, and he's kind of pacing back and forth with the phone still to his ear. So you can tell when maybe he's coming back, and try and maybe push yourself away from the window a little bit, so maybe necessarily he wouldn't be able to see you as well.
Yeah.
We've worked out a sign. Great. Then as long as we're confident that he's still on the phone, I'm gonna keep snooping.
Any other thing that you're looking for in that particular book?
I think not necessarily in this particular book. I think we have strong evidence to indicate what it was he was reading. I think another thing that might be good would be to go see if I can find in the timeline that mysterious night kind of thing. The was in the warehouse and the previous Dorian Gray got split in two, and
So that would be probably a more recent one.
yeah, exactly. I'm guessing like 50, 51. I don't know how far, but like that's specifically what I'm looking for is
Okay.
that, and see if I can find another account of that and see if it matches with what we know so far.
Absolutely. So you put this one back.
Mhm.
Do you shove it all the way back in as
I
well?
mean, I
Or do you
really
leave it like
feel
crooked out a little bit?
I'm gonna leave it crooked out a bit, and then Alex is probably gonna swing by and push it back in again.
yeah.
But
Once
I
you
will
walk
put it
away,
back. 100%.
For
That's
sure.
completely fine. But I put it back how we found it.
And so you go back to the journal that is out
Sure.
and currently has like a pen next to it. And you start flipping back a couple of days and you see, okay, there's a couple of, there's both a Jordan Donahue and a Dorian Gray entry for this one.
Mhm.
And this one you can see, okay, Jordan Donahue had a couple of meetings. He met with Arcus to say that this particular warehouse should have things moved out of it and that it shouldn't be used. And then you also see Dorian Gray meet up, such and such plan. And then it almost like ends kind of abruptly. It appears that it was written before whatever happened actually happened. And if you flip a couple of days afterwards, you notice there's a couple of days that are just missing after that. So you don't really know what to make of that in particular, but it appears that the entry for that day was probably written before the actual event, because it's just saying meeting with Vaughn McRaven and Hunter Kane.
Sure.
And that was sort of it.
Cool. All right. That's fine. I flip it back to the page it was open on and do my best to put everything back the way it was.
Okay.
do you think we could grow a tree on the ship?
Quite possibly.
That
Where would it get its UV light?
It needs UV light.
Isn't that what trees need?
He flexed through the book. So going,
Fun fact, humans actually also require small amounts of this UV light. So on a lot of spaceships, they're actually installed in, like, they just come with the ship in areas that humans often frequent. So you get your vitamin D and whatnot.
we should install a hydroponics bay.
Huh. That'd be fun.
yeah,
I would like to grow a
do some
carrot.
planting.
or Siame kids, they don't teach us a lot about trees. It's not really relevant.
Yeah,
Yes, your planet does not have many plants on it.
Any plants on it?
Yeah, we make do.
There's less and less wood by the day.
Keep turning it into animals.
and setting it on fire.
Are you guys going to do any more or snooping? Or?
It's making me really nervous to do this. I don't want to look through this dude's stuff. I don't trust him.
As long as I've got a visual on him down there, I'll let them know. Like, yeah, he's still down there.
Yeah, and if he is still down there,
like no one else is going to come into his office probably.
And like, how long has he been on the phone at this point?
Probably like 10, 15 minutes.
At Alex,
like quite a long time.
Actually,
Alex like looks at Micah and is like, thumbs up, thumbs like, is he yelling into the phone? Is he?
Can I make out his attitude?
Yeah, can you make a charisma notice check, please?
Charisma notice, all right.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, a little better.
You're trying to read body language here.
Okay, 8.
Nice.
He seems tense. He doesn't seem to be yelling or angry, but this appears to be quite an important phone call for him. And it appears that he is trying to like negotiate something. Like, no, you don't have to do that. Okay. Well, what if we do this? Like, yeah.
But the read I get is it seems like this is an important business call. This is not him like arranging having us turned in or something. Necessarily.
Yeah, you would infer that this is some kind of business call,
business.
Not yeah, they're in my study right now. Why aren't you here yet?
Yeah. Okay.
Is his computer still on and logged in?
It sure is.
Is your computer still
Hacking
No, not
intensifies.
hacker. No one wants to hacker shit. Forget this book nonsense.
Yeah. What exactly are you trying to figure out? Are you just like looking for files or something, or what exactly are you trying to do?
So I kind of have two separate objectives. I'd like to know, actually 3 separate objectives. I'd like to know more information on our current situation, our many various different directions we can go in with the clipping, with the island that's completely uninhabitable. I also kind of want to know if I don't know why, but just if this guy's on the level. So I think first thing would be check out the history. If I can,
bold move.
No, this is 100%.
You're going into his internet history.
I would
Advanced
like to
hacking
go
techniques.
into if his computer history, his internet history. If he was looking up the things he said he was looking up for us, and if so, also what was he looking up right before we got there?
Okay.
Was he on the Reddit conversation that we read out?
Deep impact.
Oh my gosh, Dargon, Cooper Dargon, you bastard! I'm gonna go
he
sit
was
around
deep
his
impact.
house.
It was him all.
Oh,
knew it.
son of a bitch.
Of course, the Playboy. Deep impact. God.
So yeah, you do a quick cursory glance, and it does appear that he was doing some searching around this deacon. He does have like some flight. What are they called?
Plans?
No, flight plans. Is that what
That's
they're called?
what, when you like
Yeah.
file, you say, "Here's my flight plan for going from A to B."
Yeah, he has a couple of
Get
flight
on plane.
manifests. He has a couple of manifests.
Sure.
One of which that was highlighted with Deacon, no last name, Red Dwarf. And it appears he wasn't bringing anything in. It was a fighter class, so it just seemed to be him. And he was coming from his planet of origin is Aeon in the Eglani system.
Right.
And you see this information. As you continue to go back, you also see some of the information that he's looked up previously. So you see information regarding some of these black sites. And he's not doing like internet searches for this.
Right.
It appears that he's following a bunch of different documents that he has access to, shipping to these different places where it's like, okay, there are a lot of like pseudoscience kind of things being sent to these particular locations that don't necessarily ever come out. And so he has these shipping manifests, so he can kind of seems like he can figure out where some of these places are. So that's how he's connecting these dots together. And then as you continue to look back, you also see information regarding Micah and Alex and you. You see Micah's wanted poster and some school documents regarding where she went to school for her psychic training.
Did you get my good side for the poster? This is important.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah. You only ever show your good side to any photographers.
Darling.
Additionally, you see information about Alex, about him being stationed on Orisiame, specifically on Gilfern. You see him. You see that he is the son of a Cassian general by the name of Hunter Kane, as well as a Cassian diplomat. Additionally, you see a news article about a fight that happened at Ragged Springs, where he's claimed to be one of the people missing in action. And then you see some of your like driving manifests and stuff like that. Like you see just a wealth of information about the four of you as well.
When did these research into us? What can I get dates on that? Like
it was specifically done the day before.
I'm gonna look over my shoulder just at what Nona's scrolling through with all of our stuff and ask, does he have stuff about Claire on there too?
He does. He has the wanted poster of the three of you and sketches of the three of you, as well as a picture of her. It has mentions of her being called Claire Watanabe. It has her adoption papers written up by Eriko Watanabe. And it has just information around her as well. Nothing, it seems like, from when she was in her village or where her village originated from. But it has that information as well.
But it has like stuff about the like Oracle project or whatever.
Nope.
No. Okay.
That would have been
no information around the Oracle project or anything
good.
like that. Just this is a wanted girl.
Good.
Okay.
Or a missing child. She's not wanted.
She's not a wanted
She
girl.
is wanted, but she's
We want
missing.
her. Exactly. Very important to us.
And are you trying to do anything else?
I think that's mainly it. I mean, if we have more time to snoop, I'm sure I can think of more things to snoop.
What's his highest score on Minesweeper?
I looked that up.
What's the fastest he's been able to do the hard setting on Minesweeper?
He seems to have opened it a couple of times, but he's failed every single time.
Dumbass.
You always go for the corners. Slightly more serious question. Like, obviously this was trending this way, but like, did we know that Alex was the son of Hunter Kane before this? I mean, I know we mentioned Cassian General. I know
there are a lot of Cassian generals.
I'm just checking because Nona does not infer things based on
there's
stuff.
Hunter Kane. There's Gatherer Walker.
There explicitly no, but there have been a lot of things that would suggest that Alex was somehow related to the general that had the assassination attempt against them.
Yeah.
I can go over quite a few of them, the biggest one being the two generals prophecy, and then a son and daughter on a perched atop a bird of flames, all that.
Yeah, Jeff, we know.
Isn't that just yes. No, but more Nona doesn't infer things. So
you
Nona
would have never seen it
known,
on paper.
Yeah, Nona has known son of Cassian General. Also, there's this prophecy that says these things. Also, there was this Cassian General who was injured.
Yep, that is correct.
Cool.
Yeah, his full name was never written out or anything.
And he lived, right? And so he just like got brought to there.
I think he was in the hospital.
He's still in the hospital.
He's in the
alive.
hospital.
Hunter's alive.
Right, in the same one. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which might be the same one where they have more information about that one doctor guy, or so he said. Although,
yeah, that's actually an open question. Where's the hospital nearby, and does that have any relation to? So there was a hospital semi nearby.
They're the same hospital.
Fantastic. We know that now too.
Yeah, there's one major hospital on Jade. It is the same one that Hunter Kane was brought to when he was in critical condition. It is the same one that Hans Gerson was working
I
for.
love saying that.
Just Jeff warming up that accent.
Yes.
Hans Gersten.
Hans Gersten.
Yeah.
This is how I say it.
Honestly, I'm a little bit I'm at a loss of what to do here because I think Nona's mind is completely blown.
And as you are blown by some of this information,
Would you like to take that again?
No,
I'll
that's
take this
staying
again
in.
from the top.
That's
As
staying
you are
in.
blown away by the bombshell
information is
that
not gonna be
is
talked
this
clear up.
information, Jordan Donahue appears to be wrapping up his call and is moving towards the study door again.
Nona reset.
Say, yeah.
Nona resets
Wrap it up.
everything,
He's coming back.
including erasing the history of me browsing the history.
Mm-hmm.
And, the chair back and all of that stuff. Nona is trying her best at stealth.
Cool.
Really.
Yeah, so you guys quickly just move everything back to whereabouts it was.
Alex is still standing by the bookcase with the tree book. Just so that something's changed.
Yeah. And he opens the door and says, all right, sorry to leave you guys in the lurch there. That was kind of an important conversation for Donahue shipping. So I can look into a couple of those black sites and point you towards anyone in particular. I got some words from Dorian Gray that she may or may not want to join you if you will have her. It does appear that you said something to her that changed her mind. So let me know whenabouts that might happen. I can get in contact with her and send her your guys' way, as well as I'll try and look into more what particular sites you guys want to go for. Sorry to cut this meeting short unless you guys have anything more you want to chat about.
I don't think we did.
No, I mean, this is respectfully a lot more useful than I was personally expecting it to be, and a lot more one-on-one than I was expecting it to be. So I very much appreciate it.
Well, if you guys have any more information that you want to learn, this is a hobby of mine, digging into some of this stuff. I enjoy doing it. So it was great meeting you.
I would
And
like
he
to
goes,
exchange phone numbers.
Oh yeah. So you
Mine is 5.
so you exchanged
That's
phone
number.
numbers with Dorian Gray so that you might reach him
Jordan
again.
Donahue.
Jordan Donahue, a totally different person.
Jordan Donahue. So you exchange phone numbers with Jordan Donahue, and he, offers you guys a quick handshake. He seems to be busy. He seems to have moved on from the conversation that you guys were previously having before, and just immediately starts sitting down and writing in his booklet as well as typing up on his computer again. It's like, if you guys can see yourselves out, I have a couple of things that I have to take care of right now.
Yeah, no problem.
Alex puts the book back.
Excellent. Thank you. I'll be in touch. And maybe I can also learn a little bit more about this clipping procedure and see if we might inoculate some more folks that
Yes,
might be
please.
interacting with these things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not
amazing.
bears.
Sounds
Not
great.
bears.
Bears.
Probably not bears. All right.
And he does the little finger guns like, all right.
Oh yeah.
And goes back to whatever he was doing and is really no longer paying attention to what you guys are doing. So I assume you guys just head out unless you want to discuss anything more with him.
We know who you are, you son of a. No, that's.
Yeah,
I think
not.
that's it.
Cool.
Yeah, I think as we're there's so many things
Wait.
I want to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, we wait. Alex waits to talk about anything story specific, probably until he's out of the house.
You guys leave the villa. It was a very nice view. It only took about probably a half hour to deal out all of this information, maybe closer to 45 minutes since he also had to take a call. So you guys, it's the morning. What do you guys want to discuss? That was a lot of information. Again, that was given to you quite freely by a person that you never really met before.
Okay, so yeah, what are next steps? We know more, I guess.
Well, we don't. Am I correct in assuming we don't want Dorian Gray to join us?
I mean, if she wants to come, but we need to know what's happening next.
Yeah, I mean, if she wants to actually like come out with us in the field, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. We're just like not trying to like make her part of the group or whatever. That's not happening. But yeah, I mean, I think what you said last night made some perfectly good points. It seems like I can't remember if I was there for that conversation or not.
You were, because then you guys told me to stop trying to recruit people. Remember?
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So I think that's fine. It definitely looks like either we've got this island, which seems like it's probably priority 1, since we just got that thing last night about it, or I guess we could break into another medical facility.
Love it. Love when that happens.
Love doing that.
I tried to read his mind, and I couldn't. It was like Nona's, but not like Nona's.
Brother! Nona goes running back. I'm kidding.
No, there was not like Nona.
It was more like there. With Nona, I can't latch on to anything, but with him, it just I felt like there was interference or something.
Nona, you look sad. You look sad at that.
Sorry, didn't mean to phrase it like that, Nona.
Interference, like
Yeah, like I every time I tried to read something, it would get super fuzzy and it would make my head hurt, and then I wouldn't be able to.
meta sound.
Yeah, that could be. He didn't say that he wasn't.
I want to know if this clipping procedure can affect non-psychics as well.
It seems like he's able to see the word, because he was writing it down on that page that you just saw, right? So
He
I
most
think
definitely was.
yeah. Or was that not in the same place?
So
That might have been his. That was back in the
journal.
day. So
that was in
might
a
have
journal
been
way back in the day,
his
Right.
like
mom
550 years ago.
Okay.
Okay,
But
so
then-
several ancestors ago. Got it.
But when they were talking about
least
our encounter, they didn't use the word there?
No.
He or Dorian Gray? No. Okay.
Go.
So
Gotcha.
right, so we have that hospital.
Yeah. Where, so we don't need to make a big thing about it, but where your dad still is there. Yeah.
Beg your.
I don't know if I shared that.
Did you?
I
Okay.
did not share
It was
that.
brought up by Dorian Gray as well.
Well, Dorian Gray said Cassian,
Cassian General.
That's
Fine.
fair.
All right. If Nona didn't say it out loud,
I
then
don't
forget it.
think Nona was considering whether or not to be a giant blabbermouth about it, as she always does, but then once his face came back, so Nona still does not know what to
All
do with
right.
this information.
Then I won't stir that pot today.
Yeah.
Later.
Dad, what is a dad? I don't know her.
Anything else major? So you guys have the hospital lead, you have the island lead.
One of the two.
Yeah.
I mean, it really seems like the island is the most important thing. We don't even know if this hospital like would still have documents from 500 years ago.
Nobody important would be in the hospital.
Yes.
And again, just to keep in mind the end goal of what we're trying to accomplish, which is
Which is no, and that's very fair.
Freeing
This
Von
is
McRaven?
freeing
freeing Von McRaven. That's
Yeah,
what
I got
we're
it
trying to
right.
do. Yeah.
freeing Von McRaven because
Oh. No, forgot.
we came here to talk to Dorian Gray. This is the stuff that Dorian Gray told us about, and now we're following up on that, and that is why we're doing what we're doing here.
This is good. In doing this, and if we continue to be good, Dorian Gray is an ally. Jordan Donahue is an ally. And it seems like our values align, and we can use their influence and have them in on the plan to ultimately free Von McRaven. So I'm happy with our course of action right now.
Nice.
No, real quick. What's your ringtone?
My ringtone. Oh my god, it is
8-bit talks.
no, but it will be after this. It is the most generic thing. We're talking like not even like the generic one. She turned it to like, single beep or double
Oh, it's not
beep.
like.
No, it's not even that. It's like beep, beep. Like absolutely all interesting things has been stripped out of it.
Is there a smoke detector that's around here?
It's just like, is there a bomb on?
Oh my god.
That is my phone.
Oh.
Nona answers her phone.
So you can see that it is Arcus calling.
I was just wondering whether to bring him up or not. Hi, this
Hi.
is Nona.
So working docks. I see it. It's in one of the warehouses.
I turned this on speakerphone. He sees the flash paste.
Am I on speakerphone now?
Yes, keep talking. We're coming.
Yeah, Alex is here.
It's near Donahue Shipping. It is in a warehouse that is not used, and it's not alone. It's got a friend.
There's two of them?
No, hang up. We'll be right there. Call Jordan. Let's get Dorian on this as well, please.
Can I get more information from Arcus as to where it is?
Yeah, and he gives you the specific warehouse. It's
Luckily
just another
for us,
warehouse.
it's one spire over. Come on.
But yeah, it's a big boy.
Arcos, you need to get out of there.
Yeah, you got to get clear, bud.
All right, cool. Bye.
Get people moving. Split up. Make sure they're not following you.
Yeah.
Trip people.
Stay
alive.
Whatever.
Wait, can I get somebody else to call Jordan Donahue? Because I really think we should stay on the line with Arcus and keep getting updates.
No,
while...
absolutely.
Yeah,
okay,
you're
so
the
I'm
one who
gonna
has his
stay.
number.
I'm gonna stay on the line with Arcus, and I'm going to start heading in that direction.
Sure. I'll call, but can you do you remember the number? Or can you pull it up on your phone while you're still on the line? Okay, great.
Totally do all of that. And we're heading
Anytime
in
you
that
guys
direction.
exchange phone numbers,
Just
you
assume
all have
everybody
the
has
phone
it.
number.
Okay, perfect.
I'm just gonna.
I appreciate that because
wave that
cell
away.
phones in the future, just instant.
So
love it.
Jordan Donahue picks up and says, "Hello. I thought we just."
Hi. Sorry to interrupt. This is Micah again.
Not bears.
So yeah, not bears apparently are in one of your empty warehouses like right now.
Are as
Are.
in multiple.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Put them on speaker.
merge the call.
Phone party.
Are we in a conference call?
Should we conference call them? Would that be easier for
Arcos, it doesn't sound like you're running.
All right. Hold on. Okay, I'll take care of this. If you guys want to join in, let me know. I'm going to send something to Dorian Gray and send a couple of people that way. Shit. Okay. Oh yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for the update.
We're heading there now. Yeah, no problem. Thought you might want to know.
Excellent. Awesome.
Bye.
Bye.
Nona is heading there
Yeah, let's go.
as full speed.
Are you going to stay on with Arcus
Yes,
the entire
time?
Okay.
Want updates, want signal, all of that. Gonna run in that direction and be like, my bear friend.
Can't let this bear die.
And
Stay alive, Arcos.
You son of a bitch.
we will figure out if Arcus can stay alive next time.
Oh, man.
Guys made me leave him. This is all your fault. If
No,
he dies,
he's
I'm never
gonna live.
forgiving you.
He's been called. That's all that matters.
Yeah, well, sometimes people call and then they die when they're not on the phone with you, and you just show up and fight the thing over the corpse of your bear friend.
Like Arcus.
This is a thing that has gone through before too, so this is why she wants to stay on the line.